America, where everyone has a voice, but too many fail to speak. Too many don't know the foundation of our nation, have never read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, or the Articles of Confederation, and fail to end up in a voting booth. It's time for change. Welcome to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin, a platform for young America to voice their ideals and have meaningful dialogue on politics, economics, and social issues. Connect at thevoyatampabay.weebly.com. Now, the host of the Voice of Young America, Justin Austin.
Welcome to the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to another week. We're just getting better. We're just getting started. Today, I want to talk about, of course, our political section. And the whole theme of today is viewing America's future through the lens of its current actions. We want to identify in politics, economics, and social areas where we're headed. Where is America headed based on the things that they're doing today? And we're going to start off with politics. And one of the things I want to highlight is applying ethical solutions to society's maladies. That's the whole purpose of politics, applying ethical solutions to society's maladies. And we have a guest today, Frank. He's on the line by phone. Frank's gonna kind of just give us his views and help us delve into this topic. Good morning, Frank. How you doing?
Oh, good morning. I'm great.
All right. So you're calling us out of the Pinellas County area. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm calling from Largo, Florida, man.
All right. Well, glad to have you on. One of the biggest things about our show is getting young Americans active, informed, and a part of everything that's going on. So let's dive right into it. Let's pick your brain a little bit about some of the things. I want to start off with, what are your thoughts on the level or lack of integrity being displayed by elected officials?
Okay. So elected officials, we're talking politicians, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So who are politicians and what do they do? All right. Politicians are people, just like everybody else. They're sinful. They're corruptible by power. They can be bought. They can be influenced by money. And what do? Politicians are in government. They govern the rules, regulation, and function of our society.
Yes, sir.
So when you have people making these decisions and choices, there's always corruptibility. It's always there. So we have to keep that into account. But we're a part of it because of the accountability. We fail to end up in a voting booth, and we continue to elect these unethical characters and expect them to apply an ethical decision.
Yeah, that's
I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, that's the interesting part to me, is that when people speak about politicians, the common thing among Americans in society is that they're corrupt. But you're expecting corrupt people to apply ethical solutions to the problems that the society is facing. How does that work out? How do people have a lack of faith in politicians, but at the same time have faith in politicians?
Well, that doesn't work out. Okay, and here's why, right? So you want to hold people accountable, but you don't want to make the arrest, right? You don't want the guy who robbed you to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You don't want to put handcuffs on him. Okay. We want these people to make the good decisions, but we want to vote for the guy who looks good and who says nice things.
Yep.
But we don't even do that.
Nope.
We actually just let somebody else vote for whoever they're going to vote for, and we make our decision. We kind of sit on the sidelines and wonder why we're not winning the game. It's about being involved and informed, like you were saying earlier, Justin.
Well, I wish many more Americans were involved and informed. I mean, when you look at some of the ethical and criminal violations among members of Congress or members of state legislature, and it's only politicized when it's in favor of ratings for news outlets to actually display these crimes or these ethics violations that's going on. But most of the time, they get swept under the rug. If we actually look, there is a I'm not going to say it's an order or a law, but it's something in place within Congress that kind of shields the exposure of ethical and criminal violations among party members, which is ridiculous. But with that being said, Frank, do you find President Trump's morally questionable past to be suitable for the position of top role model of America, which is the presidency?
Well, that would depend on perspective, okay? Because like we're saying, you have to be informed, right? That means you're obtaining information.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about like the factual basis of his past, or are we talking about the way that it's presented?
Well, we're talking about the factual. I don't care about but what the way it's presented.
So let's go on that. Now, like I said, people. What are they? Who are politicians? They're people. What do people do? They're sinful, yes, and they're corruptible. So what's important here? Are the issues that are being brought to light through the media, are they relevant? Did they happen? Some of the so-called women incidents, or some of the other things that have been proposed. What does that have to do with being a leader of a country? Because what I look at is I look at his past of good moral decisions, and I look at the things he's done right, and then I look what he's doing now, and I look that majority of the country liked what he was doing, agreed with what he was saying, and I believe he's delivered on what he's done. So at a certain point, the question of his morality, I think, is a question we shouldn't be asking at this point.
Well, we talk about the things that he's said he's going to do and what he's done. Now, I'm going to give him a rating of maybe like a B. I'd say B on execution. One of the conversations I was just having this morning is that people's ideas are appreciated, but what's respected is execution. Those who execute are on a different level than those with just ideas. And if you look at who is the most highly respected people, you have to go to those who execute, like not those who talk or those who are pompous with it, but those who actually execute and take action and get things done. And I like to think that the Mr. President is so much so he does execute. One of the things that I find disappointment, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is this new spending bill that came out. First of all, it's a continuing resolution. One of the things people have to put their mind on is that continuing resolution means that they really didn't do their job. Continuing resolution means that they just put a Band-Aid or they just put a quick fix in. It's not actually what was supposed to be done.
But continuing the resolution is continuing the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, I'll wait. Isn't that what you say, Justin? Hold
yes,
on,
sir.
I'll wait for you guys to get a real resolution.
Exactly. So. And with that being said, passing this continuing resolution with all this pork, all this blubber, all this fat inside of it, that was not what Donald Trump was sent to Washington to do. And he made this statement of, I will never sign something like this again. But my thing is, why did you sign it in the first place? Tell us your thoughts, Frank.
Okay. I'm biased to the president. I like to defend him. I believe he is
Me too, sir.
Blue blood blue blood through and through. I believe he has the best interests of the country in mind. Am I a fan of the bill? Absolutely not. Because it brings us back into unethical people trying to come up with an ethical solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not talking about Trump directly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about we're giving more money, to people who have a history of misuse of appropriations.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So what we're doing now is we're saying, hey, what you did wrong before, go ahead and do it again. We'll continue the resolution,
Yep.
which is still continuing the problem. We're not going to hold you accountable, okay, because we're not going to vote you out. We're not going to show up to rallies. We're not going to voice our opinion.
Mm-mm.
But we still want you to put the ethical or the beneficial to me solution into place. And we know that there's no logic in that.
Do you have any higher expectations for what Congress can do just for the rest of this year, and especially being an election year? Do you have any thoughts on like what they can expectations for them for the rest of this year, and especially with it being such a propaganda year, being an election year?
Well, here's the thing. So let's say the control of Congress is still in the hands of Republicans.
Hopefully,
which it has been, right, for the last little bit here. Okay, now has the country been able to get some things punched through?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Have they been able to get it punched through the way that we were hoping?
No, sir.
Not exactly. So the art of the deal. Okay. Yes. Was there some questionable activity with women? Maybe. Could I say any higher standard for myself? Absolutely not. But what I can tell you is he does find a way to make a deal go through.
Yes, sir.
Okay, he couldn't repeal Obamacare, but he was able to work something into the spending bill to defund it. I have faith in the leadership of our president. I have faith in the hearts of Americans. So if we can keep control of the House, I believe we can get more things done than we could have expected in the past. Let's say that.
All right. Last question to you, sir. And I want to pose this and give you an example. You have a child who you're raising, and this is hypothetical. You have a child you're raising. This child keeps acting up. But you're responsible for that child. Now, if that child acts up and you don't admonish that child, can you expect that child to change? Can you? I don't think you can.
You can.
Okay. So
if I could elaborate just a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, because it brings me back to politicians, the future of our country through our actions. So we have this misbehaving child. Mm-hmm. Instead of giving him more time, care, and attention, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to bring him to a doctor, okay? And that doctor is going to give him medication, and that is going to be the Band-Aid, the continuing resolution for poor parenting. We're going to put that Band-Aid on it, okay? Now, you have a doctor who's also a person. He's also corruptible. He's also sinful. He can also be bought. So he's going to start pushing products, right? So what we're doing now, when we look about politicians or people in power to put an ethical solution to our society's maladies, it's similar to that doctor who's going to go ahead and give you something for pain and get you hooked on it. Then he's going to put the resolution, the continuing resolution on the pain medicine he's hooked you on, and he's going to give you even worse product like Suboxone. If we do not hold people accountable, whether it's parents who can't get young Johnny to behave because they won't give him attention, whether it's we want politicians to make choices in the best interest of the country without being corrupted, if we do not hold these people accountable, we will continue to have a politician who's a drug counselor and a drug dealer at the same time.
Yes, sir.
You will never obtain sobriety, and you will never put a real fix on the continuing resolution or problems of society.
Well, I totally agree with that, and I would like to end with this, Frank. We, as Americans, are the parents of these politicians. The politicians keep acting up. And the cool part about it is we get to change out our kids. So we don't have to keep them. But we have to, when these kids or these politicians keep acting up and we keep slapping them on the hand and tell them to go back on the playground and play as they keep doing the wrong thing, we can't expect them to change. And we can't expect America to change. We thank you for coming on the show today, Frank. We appreciate it. Brother, be blessed and have a great day.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good day.
Well, guys, that was Frank in Providence County calling out of Largo. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. You can pass laws all day long, but if you have a system that's corrupt, you have people who don't respect the system, you have people who aren't held accountable in the system, what are these laws going to do? Nothing is more important than the hearts of men. That cannot be stressed enough. No bill, no piece of legislation, no march is more important than the hearts of men. You're listening to The Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to The Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Watch what happens on the Voice of Young America YouTube channel. The Voice of Young America on AM 860. The Answer.
Finding skilled and unskilled tradesmen can be a problem, whether it's temporary or long-term. Rose Employment Solutions handles all of your workers' comp needs while responsibly solving your staffing problems. You make the call, they do it all. 813-644-5037. And for the quality tradesmen in search of career growth, full-time hours, and multiple pay options, call Rose Employment Solutions, 813-644-5037. Learn more at rose-emp.com or just stop by their office, 1020 West Bush Boulevard in Tampa. I'm Justin Austin, host of The Voice of Young America. When it comes to complete auto repair and fast service, check out the pros at Auto Lens Center, 1308 East Bush Boulevard in Tampa, providing professional quality work on all American-made and foreign car models. Great pricing on complete auto repair services, oil changes, and brakes. Auto Lens Center at 1308 East Bush Boulevard, where experience and good service go a long way. Call 813-764-7891. That's 813-764-7891. Auto Land Center. I'm Justin Austin with the VOYA. Do you like the vibe of downtown St. Pete? Wish that was in your neighborhood? Now it is. Check out Cafe 46 in North St. Pete. Great food, beer, and games with an artsy and vibrant atmosphere. Paintings from local artists. Grab morning breakfast, choose a sandwich off the lunch and dinner menu, or just have a drink and play some pool. Cafe 46, that's 6774 North 46th Avenue in St. Pete. Or check out cafeon46.com.
Welcome back to The Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin by email, thevoyatampabay@gmail.com.
Welcome back to The Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors at Cafe 46 in North St. Pete. Great food, great music, great vibe. Go ahead and check them out. 6774 46th Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida, 33709. The owner's Ryan. He's a real cool dude. He'll cook your food, come out and shake your hand and talk to you and tell you about the place. Now, we want to get into our moment of truth. This coming Sunday is considered Easter Sunday or Resurrection Sunday, however people want to put it. I'm a child of God. I only celebrate things that are in the Bible. If it never told us to celebrate birthdays, so I don't celebrate my own birthday. Christmas is not in the Bible. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate Halloween. I celebrate the 4th of July because I'm an American. Celebrate President's Day because I'm an American. Don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I love my girl. I treat it like Valentine's Day is every day. If you love Jesus Christ and you're going on the Easter egg hunt this weekend, you are blasphemous. If you say that Jesus Christ's resurrection had anything to do with the Easter egg hunt, you are blasphemous. You should be ashamed of yourself. Any parents or especially if you are a church leader, I hope you're listening to me. If you hold the Easter egg hunt, you should shut down your church. Point blank, period. If you are a Christian, male, female, if you hold the Easter egg hunt, that's totally disrespectful to Christ. Christ came and died for our sins and rose on the third day. He came and sacrificed his life. He rose up so we could rise up with him and live with him. You don't live with him by Easter egg hunt. You're not showing respect. You're not showing respect to what he did and what he continues to do for us. So if you're listening and if you have attached Christ's resurrection to an Easter egg hunt, please stop. Just stop. Please just use this day to actually come closer to God. If it's not found in the good book and Jesus is literally, you cannot find the Holy Spirit there, be not a part of it. Be not a part of it. This goes for Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, which was the bloodiest one of the bloodiest holidays ever. Anybody know what the Trail of Tears is? Or is that just me? Okay, I digress. Back to the show. So the topic for today, as we've been discussing, is viewing America's future through the lens of its current actions. But economically, what does that mean? Well, just think about if our future is to be a great nation, how can we be great if we are a consumer nation? Who consumes and is great at the same time? Don't worry, I'll wait. China realized that. China said that we're having too many people, we're consuming too much of our resources, one child rule. Not to say I'm a part of it, but at least they recognize what they were doing wrong. If you look at the Japanese was able to build back up their industry after being totally depleted from war and other things, because they took the steps to make their industrial complex grow every single day. They had this thing called Kaizen, where you take just 1 inch, something so small, something so innocuous that if you do it, really, you don't really notice the effort. And if you do that every day by just adding a small inch, an effortless inch, you will grow. Where's our effortless inch? Where's our one child rule? And not to say these things and literally, metaphorically, what we're producing for the future is consumers. So economically, let's see. Let's look at the future, right? So look at children today, because they're our future. Look at young Americans, because they're our future. We're not even going to look at the older population. We're going to look at the younger generation, because how they spend now, if they don't stop, they'll continue to do the same things. So if we look at it economically, what are we doing now? Kids aren't graduating from high school. So how many leaders, how many business owners, how many executive managers are being produced out of today's group from 40 under? How many, but right now, between the age of 10 and the age of 40, how many of them have the potential with the work ethic or the character right now to actually be president, owner, CEO, executive? How many of them have critical thinking skills? They don't even teach that anymore. When I was in 9th grade back in 2001, that was an elective. It wasn't even a core course. Now today, it's not even thought of. That was 16 years ago. Ask a kid today if they have a critical thinking course, and they'll ask you what critical thinking is. So what are we producing economically? So what do kids spend their not just kids, but adults? What do they spend their money? How do they spend their money? Okay, so instead of buying, like, if you just peep this real quick, look at everyone who has an iPhone right now, a brand new iPhone or iPhone, the latest 2 versions. Those phones cost $750 to about $1,100 a piece. That person would have an iPhone, but if you walk out to their vehicle, they got a spare. They got like a spare on their car, or they need a paint job, or their car is clicking. How can you pay for an iPhone but still have transportation issues? If I walked into your house right now, if I opened your fridge, would it reflect that you own an iPhone? If I walked into your closet, if I walked into your bedroom, if I looked at your bank account, would it reflect that you have an $800 phone? How can you be productive in the future without being productive today? Anybody have that thought process? So boom, let's look at it like this, right? So then industry, right? Industry among those between 10 and 40 years old. So let's start with the younger guy, 10 years old. Kid doesn't make his bed when he wakes up in the morning. My stepdaughter, she's 6. She hates me for it, but every single morning, just like I do, you make your bed. You know why? Before I leave the house, my house is clean. Why? Because when I get home, I don't want to have to clean. And at the same time, I've already accomplished things for my day before I even leave my house. At 8 a.m. when I leave my house, my dishes are washed, my floor is swept, my bathroom is clean, my bed is made, my clothes are folded. And I do this not because I don't want to just clean when I get home, but I've already accomplished things for my day. The reason I use this as an example is because with children, what skill sets are you developing in them if they don't have to make their bed, if they don't have to take out the trash, if they don't have chores, if they don't not only just do homework, but do an extra worksheet on top of it? How do you expect that child to go the extra effort when he gets older? If he only has to do A, B, and C and never has to do G, why would he do G when he gets older? Nobody taught him to do G. Is this going to spring up in him? Well, look, okay, go to those in the 20 years olds right now, those who work 9 to 5. And I'm not knocking if you work 9 to 5, but what do you do outside of that? Who takes their work home with them, right? I don't care if you work at McDonald's. I don't care if you work at the mall, whatever. When you go home, how many people are thinking about, you know what, this is what I can study on my job so I can actually elevate being a cashier? I mean, people look at me ridiculous. If I asked the guy right now working at McDonald's, what's 3 things right now you could do to improve the fry section? He would look at me like I'm ridiculous. Because I work at McDonald's, I don't need to think about growth because I work at McDonald's. That is the mind state of generations, not just one person. How is that supposed to change in the future? People talk about the disconnect, or not the disconnect, the gap between the rich and the poor. The gap is not about the money. Anybody tell you that one guy is rich, the other guy is poor because of money, they're lying to you. Does that have an effect? Totally. What makes the difference between the two is mind state. That guy who works 9 to 5 at McDonald's has the same potential to be a CEO within 10 years. I said that. The guy who works 9 to 5 at McDonald's has the potential to be a CEO in 10 years. How so? His mind state and his work ethic. So if this guy, because there's homeless people who are now millionaires. There are homeless people who are now millionaires. What changed? Their mind state and their work ethic changed. So applying this to our topic, what's going to be different about tomorrow, about the future of America that we're doing now? What's going to be different? Why should it be different? What are we doing that's so great right now that the future is going to be better? Because if you have so many people talking about the gap between the rich and the poor, Bloomberg came out the other day, and this is the stuff that I dislike at the bottom, it just makes my stomach hurt. They came out with this thing showing, and they say this is a law now or some type of filing regulation or something, where CEOs have to show how much money they make in comparison to the average employee. Why? How many of the employees at McDonald's gave money to the franchisee to start that particular McDonald's branch? How many employees have spent their capital on making the business grow? Don't worry, I'll wait. So what does it matter what their relation is to the person who started the company? I mean, if these 9 to 5 workers don't go home and say, this is what I can do to grow the business, why should they make more money than what they make already? Okay, let me ask you this, right? I got a buddy of mine with a company. He's hiring right now. He says that he doesn't offer an hourly pay. It's commission only. Do you know how many people that takes out of the runnings? Because if you told someone that they had to step onto a job and the only way they got paid is execution, do you know that 90% of America would walk away? At least. So if you don't have an execution type mind state among 10-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, tell me how will America be great in 20 years? Because more numbers for you, all right? Most land is owned by those in the 50 plus category. So the only way you get their land is if they give it to their kids and pass it down. If they sell it on the market, the government seizes it and, then sells it again. Or the fact that most companies are owned by people 50 years old and older. All these things, right? All these things. So the young people of today is either going to get something through inheritance, through the government giving entitlements, or hard work. Look at our system right now. How many people? So you look at the super rich people are usually through inheritance. It's not a lot of self-made billionaires. A lot of them are second or third generation billionaires. And it's realistic. I just read Forbes 2018 billionaire list the other day. I got the magazine. It's awesome. Check it out. And that's what they need to have in boys and girls clubs. They need to have in the rec centers. They need to have the Forbes magazine. They need to have Bloomberg magazine. They don't need toys. Of course they need toys. They can play, but they need this substance. But the reason I say all this is because right now most people ascertain things through either inheritance or through government entitlement, some way, shape, or form. And hard work is left out in the cold. But hard work is fine because hard work is the ones who are actually making money and making growth. Our economic system is flawed. It's not sustainable. If people get most of what they have through inheritance and government entitlements, how long can that last before we actually absorb all of our resources? Don't worry, I'll wait. It's not sustainable. Our current actions state explicitly that we want everything to be convenient. We want everything to be right now. We want immediate gratification. We want to work as least as possible. Tell me if any of those four things I just identified doesn't resonate with you. You'd be lying, because they do. So since those things resonate with you, tell me how is your future supposed to be great? Since those four things explicitly represent most of America, tell me how America is going to be great. Since those four things represent what the parents are teaching their 10-year-olds, tell me how is America supposed to be great. If those four things are what the millennials right now are living based off of, tell me how is America supposed to be great. If we have 17-year-old kids yelling at politicians on TV, backed by talking heads, and really no progress, the march this weekend, that it was real cute. No disrespect, real cute. No change. No change. No change. Economically, America will not be great in 20 years. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. You're too lazy to be great. You want too much convenience to be great. You don't even know how to weather the conditions of extremity. You don't even know what that means. People say, I want my kids to work less and don't work as hard as me. Why? So they can be weak? So they can be gazelles? The economic system is not sustainable. We'll talk more on this. Check out the post show. We got to go to our sponsors. There's another break, guys. This is the Voice of Young America. Your star host, Justin Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin at thevoyatampabay.weebly.com. The Voice of Young America on AM 860. The Answer.
I'm Justin Austin with the VOYA. Do you like the vibe of downtown St. Pete? Wish that was in your neighborhood? Now it is. Check out Cafe 46 in North St. Pete. Great food, beer, and games with an artsy and vibrant atmosphere. Paintings from local artists. Grab morning breakfast, choose a sandwich off the lunch and dinner menu, or just have a drink and play some pool. Cafe 46, that's 6774 North 46th Avenue in St. Pete. Or check out cafeon46.com.
Ladies of Tampa Bay, are you looking for a whole new hairstyle or just want to take your current look from good to glamorous? It's time to call Tiffany. Whether it's highlights, cut, color, curls, or a wedding or special occasion, Tiffany will make your mess a masterpiece. And don't worry, guys, she does men's cuts too. Tiffany's located in North St. Pete. For an appointment, click on tiffdoeshair.com. That's tiffdoeshair.com or call 727-280-3098. tiffdoeshair.com.
Finding skilled and unskilled tradesmen can be a problem, whether it's temporary or long-term. Rose Employment Solutions handles all of your workers' comp needs while responsibly solving your staffing problems. You make the call, they do it all. 813-644-5037. And for the quality tradesmen in search of career growth, full-time hours, and multiple pay options, call Rose Employment Solutions, 813-644-5037. Learn more at rose-emp.com or just stop by their office, 1020 West Bush Boulevard in Tampa.
Welcome back to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin by phone. Call 813-516-6851. 813-516-6851.
Welcome back to the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. And let's give another shout out to our sponsors at Rose Employment Solutions. You make the call, they do it all. Any, construction firm looking for good workers, call Rose Employment Solution. Any great tradesman looking for work, call Rose Employment Solutions. You make the call, they do it all. Check out the website, rose-emp.com, or call 813-644-5037. Let's get back to our next section. Today we're focusing on viewing America's future through the lens of its current actions. And when we look at the society piece, this is something that hits me. We have a me society. The focus is on the individual. In the 1970s, the economist Milton Friedman said, "Our society is not a society of individuals, but a society of families." So how does the me society actually blend with the family. It doesn't. And one of the problems that we're having in the family is that people keep telling you to disrespect your parents. People keep telling you to be your own self. Don't matter what your parents say. That's a fool's message. Okay, you guys like facts. I can't help it, and you want facts, so let me give you facts. Go right now to Forbes.com and look at the billionaires list. Now, I want you to look at how many families on the list. Let me give you an example. Family, Koch brothers. People talk about the Koch brothers very badly, but the Koch brothers, you know how they got their wealth? Their father did work in Germany, okay? And he came back and he brought all that wealth that he acquired in Germany, and he started a company, and he started several companies, and his sons picked up on it. And now Charles and David Koch are, I think they're in the top 5 or the top 7 billionaires in the world, family. You have the Walton family. It's like 4 or 5 of them on there. And then if you keep going, you'll see a bunch of families. If you want to know where great wealth is, they're in families. Look at the Bushes. Father was the president. Son was the president. The other son was a governor and ran for president. Families. Now, there are individuals who do great things. I'm not taking away from that. But you want to see the ones who do the greatest things? The ones who have the most consistency? Our families. So, and I know it's people out there who don't have family or are estranged from their family. I totally understand. I totally respect that, because it happens. But don't let it be because society told you that you don't need your family, because you do. And your family is what you make it. No, I'm not going to take away from that, because we create our family when we get married, when we start having kids. We're creating family. So try to take this in the right context. But those who are great on a consistent level, they have hard work, they have belief in themselves, but they have a system, they have a family. Those who are around them are those who are encouraging and building them up. George Bush would have never been president had it been for the first George Bush. And the reason the first George Bush became president is because his father, Preston. This is not by happenstance. The Bushes didn't get where they are by happenstance. You know why Hillary didn't divorce Bill? Because you wouldn't be talking about Hillary Clinton right now. If Hillary Clinton had divorced Bill Clinton back in the 90s, you would never be speaking her name right now, besides in media blogs. And she knows this. The family is what kept her relevant. It's so many ways to play off this, but the me society, if she would have took that me route, she wouldn't be where she is. If George Bush would have took the me route from Preston, little George and Jeb wouldn't be where they are. If the Waltons would have said me, wouldn't have this. You wouldn't have this. These are facts. You can't. You want facts from me. You say, Justin, you talk too much. Give me some more facts. Well, here's facts. Individuals can be successful for a generation. Families can be successful for generations. You see the difference there? You can be great for a small period of time, or you can create something magnificent that will expand your existence and continue on. Look at what Sam Walton did. That man started one grocery store, a small grocery store. Now it's the largest company in the world, and his family and the family's for generations will profit from that. The me society gets you very little. Don't let anyone tell you focus on yourself. No, you're the greatest when you focus on other people, because you're leaving them with something that they can take on. What you create for yourself goes with you when you die. It's no longer present. What you do for others lives for generations among generations. If people keep telling you to focus on I and not we, then guess what? We'll have more Parkland shootings. Oh, you didn't think that was relevant? This kid, just take this Parkland kid, right? He had an I mentality. He had a me mentality. I am in pain. I am hurting. I am disappointed with life. I am me. So what he did was he wanted to hurt other people because of the way that he felt, because he was living for himself. If I'm not happy, then no one else can be happy. If I don't want to live, then no one at my school should live, and I'm going to go and take their lives. You like to think that you can blame Marilyn Manson, you can blame Eminem, or you can blame Call of Duty, and I'm not saying those things help. But you want to know the real problem? It's the I society, the me society. If this kid at 16, 17 thought with the we perspective, first of all, if his family thought with the we perspective, he wouldn't have had that mind frame. And if he thought with the we perspective, he would have said, you know what? I am hurt. I am hurting. I am right now. I'm discontent. But I know my life is not just my own. I know my life is about my creator. I know my life is about my family. I know my life is about my friends. I know my life. You don't know whose life that you're touching by just existing. So it's never just you. My girl told me she was doing a guy's hair yesterday who said he was raised Catholic and now he doesn't have any faith. And the Bible's just a book of stories by men. And she was sitting there talking, not chastising the guy. She was trying to understand his point of view. And then one of her clients heard the conversation. So when the gentleman left, he left unfazed. He was still the same gentleman. But you know, the woman that came behind him, she was touched by the conversation. She was touched by my girl just sharing her faith with this gentleman. It's not an I society. The way you live has an effect on other people. If you want it to be about you, move to Fiji, find you a plot of land. Then you'll be by yourself. But as long as you want these benefits that America bring, that means that it's no longer I, it's we. And if we're not teaching that, then what does our future look like? Because that's what we're talking about, right? So let's look at it. Okay. If you look at the magazines in America, they tell you what? You don't have the right car. If you look at TV, it tells you you don't have the right house. If you look at Instagram, it tells you don't even have the right woman. Yours has too many stretch marks. Your girl has too much cellulite. Look at this girl right here. She has no cellulite. She has no stretch marks. She's airbrushed. She's fake, but your girl should be like that. Everyone is telling you commercially that you're not enough and that you need to focus on you. You need to take all of your resources and make you better by buying something physical. It's ridiculous. We're supposed to be a great society in the future, right? We want America to be great again, right? So tell me, how does this work? We have a weaker family unit. We have more kids on drugs, recreational and prescribed drugs. They're taken illegally, but the doctor's prescribing young kids with Adderall and Trazepam and all this other stuff because there's something wrong with them. So you have a weak family. You have kids that need to be medicated just to operate. You have the churches telling people that Jesus' resurrection was about finding Easter eggs, and that as long as you believe in Jesus Christ without doing any of the works, you'll be saved. Please stop spreading that message. You will not be saved without living by Christ, because if you are saved, that means your life is saved. That means your actions are saved. But I digress. So we have all these things showing us that we're living like crap, because we are. We seriously are. We're eating too much. So how many people are obese? Don't worry, I'll wait. But I digress. So we have all these things telling us we are in a horrible state right now, currently. Weak families, no fathers. Independent women pushing away men. You have kids who don't listen to their parents, don't have faith on medicine. You have churches with people who show up on Sunday, possibly Wednesday night, and live the same way, but are holy once they're at church. You have politicians who are either backstabbing, calling each other out in public, not holding each other accountable, making horrible laws. but we're supposed to be great. Tell me where the greatness lies right now and what we're doing, and then I'll be able to show you that in the future. But I can't find the greatness. If you don't think you're part of the problem, just turn the radio off right now. Turn the iPod, turn off the YouTube, because you're part of the problem. Everybody needs to identify with this. As long as you're serving yourself, America won't be great again. As long as we think that the I society will lead to greatness, we won't be great. Alexander the Great had the hugest empire in the world. Why did it not continue on for generations? Don't worry, I'll wait. The I society. Alexander the Great built up a large empire based off his own ego, but he had nothing left to offer after he was dead. Because you know why? He didn't set up a structure. He had no family. He had no structure set up. His empire imploded, not exploded, but imploded. He amassed such a great thing, great fortune, but it imploded because he was about self. America has built something so amazing, so beautiful, because it was we, the people. Tell me, and don't worry, I'll wait, because I'm going to pause after this. Besides hearing a politician try to say something that's really cool and catchy, where do you hear we, the people? Where do you hear that we are a society of families? Please tell me where to find that, because I want to be wherever that is, I want to be there. We're creating more individuals at the same time creating a product. This is the most beautiful thing about what's going on in America. We're telling people to be more independent and we're telling women to be more independent, telling individuals to be more independent, but then we're producing products of the same line. So you're teaching people to think the same way and be independent. So now you have independent zombies? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. I love this country so much. And I'm going to tell you how much I love this country. My sponsors don't pay enough for this show. I pay out of my own pocket. I love America. I'm not doing this to hear my own voice. I'm doing this because I feel with the utmost that if I didn't do what I'm doing, if I didn't share the truth with you, then I'd be serving myself and my country short. I spend money at my own pocket every single month for this show just so I can make sure I'm in a position to give you information, and maybe I can touch and activate that American and that Christian and that whatever that's inside of you. America will be great when we get back to being a family society, when the community is a family again, when the church is a family again. I want to get on our final piece right here, which is Make Fathers Great Again. We're going to do this segment every week. The future of the family is dependent upon fathers stepping up. Women losing independence, children raised with love and faith in the family. I'm going to say that one more time. The future of the family is dependent upon fathers stepping up, women losing independence, children raised with love, and faith in the family. One of my favorite quotes comes from myself. I love love. It's the cure for every infection. Love covers a multitude of sins, of hurts, of pain. We are hurting as a country. We're in pain as a country. What's going to cure all of the ills and maladies that we're facing as a society? First, faith, then love, then the right perspective, and then hard work. This is the Voice of Young America. We thank you for tuning in. I'm your star host, Justin Austin, and I will speak to you next week. But be blessed.
You've been listening to The Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. The Voice of Young America relies on committed Americans like you to stand with us. If you're frustrated with the lack of real information being delivered to the next generation, then support Justin's efforts. Connect on social media, thevoyatampabay.weebly.com. Email thevoyatampabay@gmail.com. And be sure to join us next Saturday evening at 6 for the Voice of Young America here on AM 860. The Answer.